for years and years and years, I had friends, I had a good amount of friends, many friends at some point, right? But I really didn't have friends I could call my tribe. I didn't have friends that would be my people, friends I could just be myself with without having this mask on. We all have masks on, right? But you know what I mean, right? Like friends where you could just connect deep with them and tell them like, hey, I love you, I love you. I'll always care about you. You have my support, Those kind of friends, I didn't like genuine, where they just mean it genuinely and where I could be myself. Those friends I didn't have. So this video I just kind of made like to inspire you guys, right? Like about friendships and boundaries and stuff like that. But I'll talk more about it at the end. So what kind of friendship is it that I actually had? There was this one friend I had where we just abused a lot of weed, most times we would just meet and then we'll just smoke a lot, smoke a lot, eat ultra processed food, all kind of other kind of stuff, snacks, candy, those are processed too, and then play a lot of video games. We will not really grow, so we just waste our weekends, and sometimes even weekdays. And the worst thing is that we even lived together. It's like, oh man, because again, like I couldn't say no, none of us had this awareness about like, hey, what is it that we're doing with our lives, like, hey, like let's create something, we're just consuming and we're abusing this weed, and it's not really good for us. It's not, and the thing is that it actually struck me, right, when I was making these videos, that in our back head, I was actually like looking forward to see this friend where we could just, smoke weed, So weed was just a so big part of this friendship that I just not only look forward to see him and hang out with him, but also smoke, I was like, I want to smoke, and weed is just very, very addictive too. So that really didn't help either, right? But he was the one who kind of like woke me up, because there was one day where I'm home, because I was studying out of my city. I was pursuing my career in engineering, and then between my bachelor and master degree, I moved home for just like 6 months. And then I had a lot of time to really indulge and immerse myself in books, right? I started to read books more, like especially psychology. And then at one point, I guess that is how the field reacted, right? Because the field, which is like everything that you see out, like the outer game, everything outside of you, is reacting to how you are changing yourself inside, right? And then I guess the field kind of like reacted to that, like, oh, he wanna grow. So I went in and read a couple of books, and then that apparently somehow made my friend actually ask me a question, at one point, because you're just randoming me around, we're just hanging out in a random place. And then he asked me like, hey, Jin, like, and I'm like, yeah, what's up? Like, what is it that we're doing with our lives? It's like, oh, that really hit me, it really, really hit me. I was like, yeah, you're right. Because normally I was this guy who would just live on this autopilot, right? I wouldn't really question anything. I would just live. And with this guy, we would just like, meet up, smoke weed, play football, watch football, do other kind of, go to cinema, just consume. There was nothing, like smoke weed and then it's just like, there's nothing more, nothing valuable, no value, right, really. So yeah, so this question kind of woke me up. And the following month, together with my pursuit on, developing myself, I started to fitness, and my life actually started to change. But I still had these friends, There was another friend I had that I actually met a few years back. I still had him on this pursuit of just evolving. He was more into like drinking, drinking, party, nightlife, woman. So that was also a lot of time, So this one I would just meet and we would just drink and, go out and partying with these, women, men, whatever, right? But he taught me he really like helped me to, go out, right? Like face my fears, especially when it comes to socializing, right? Like even with connection, we're really good with connections. networking and stuff, right? But the thing with him was that I didn't know where I had this guy. I didn't know where, 100% where he was, right? And then later on, he actually also kind of told me because I went into self-development later on, right? And then I was like telling my plan to him, and then he was just laughing at it, It's like, oh, are you still doing that? Haha. I was like, whoa, it really hurt me, It made me sad, because at that time I could start feel again, right? I was outside of apathy, I would say. So I could start to feel, and I was like, oh, fuck, that was not... I wanted to have another response, I wanted to have a friend who would support me, ask me about it, and stuff like that. But this guy, he was not like that. It was more on the surface level, right? With the other one, we connected a bit deeper, but this one was more on the surface, talking about surface level stuff. So those were the type of friends I had, Then I had some more friends in the outside area, but we will also smoke weed, we'll drink, So it's mostly like people who just smoke weed, or people who are just drinking and partying, Not like friends where we could say like, hey, I love you, fuck, I love you, man, you're the best, or wow, amazing, you're doing this, wow, it's inspiring, or what do you think about God? Like, what is God? What is faith? What is shame? Those were the friends I was longing for, right? So I went on this journey because, again, I told you about, the journey that I went on. I started to study more and more and more, and then I met these amazing, beautiful people around 2019. Because the thing that happened was that I actually moved, because I told you guys about the break I had, between bachelor's and master's, right? So when I moved to the capital to pursue my master's degree, I had to leave all these guys, but they were still there, these friends that I already mentioned, they were still there. And then I went to the capital, and then I went into this community where you, where you meet other people who also struggle with socializing, how to go out, how to say hi, although that atmosphere, right? So I went there, and then I just met one person after the other, and I really strive, because then I started to meet other people, like people who were more like people who are into the self-development space, right? They are usually more aware of what is happening around them, and you can usually also they would generally also be more open to connect deeper, right? Also because you can mirror yourself in them a lot, right? But you also meet people in that community. You can call it the dating community. Let's just be honest, right? You can call it the dating community, where people also manipulate and lie to get what they want, right? Which is really not good, So I even met people who were like that, and then I just met one guy, and then I talked with him, then I met another one, and then and like that I met my best friends today. And then those friends, they were also slowly just pulling them away from this, pulling themselves away from going out, socialize and stuff like that, because they were it all comes from within. You really don't need to force yourself to go out and socialize all the day, all the time, because that was the belief we had back then. You have to go out, socialize, connect, network, and at the end we realized that we don't need that. It all comes from within, and then they became more and more, how can I say, having more and more faith in God. They went into the Christian route, mixed with spirituality and psychology, even shadow work, which I am teaching people into, right? So at the end, these guys, they offered me a room in their establishment, and I was like, wow, because it was not easy, because they offered me it, and then they said to me there are 20 other people, because at that time these two gentlemen, they didn't know me that well, And I was like, whoa, okay, I can move out, I can live with these guys, and then I started to like being closer to them, right? Obviously, like when you live with someone, naturally you can start to be closer with them, right? And then I get to know them more and more, and I was like, I saw them as my mentors actually, because they were at a different level I was at, they were more like aware of what is going on, more aware of the psychology and everything, right? Much more than me. And I still had my other friends, the old friends. So one part of the journey was also to accept that you are changing, because I started to change more and more and more, so I stopped, pursuing, for example, these substances, like weed, alcohol, and at the end I cut both of them out of my life. And the same with like this how can I say, this endless chasing, especially chasing women, I started to cut that off too, and then I was like, when I met these guys, it was just emptiness, right? It was just like, whoa, it was like you have a different identity, because I also started to wake up early and hit the gym and start learning some new skills like swimming, and sacrifice a lot of time to do that. And also my career kind of took a leap. I wanted to move to another country. I really started to take my life seriously, right? And pursuing these beautiful friendships, these new brothers, I started to connect with them more and more and more. So part of it was also to accept that you are changing, and to accept that you have to say no. Because these friends are still like a people pleaser kind of guy, This is an interesting part of this story. It's like, I couldn't, and then I started to get more friends on the other side, friends who were more into theology, Christianity, spirituality, more hardcore around, everything, right? And they also wanted to pursue entrepreneurship, So I was like, whoa, this is so crazy. Retreats, like, wow. But these other guys, they kind of like stood where they were standing. So I was moving so fast that I was like, I'm so different from the old Jin. I'm so different from him. And that's where my old friends were. But then I was still pleasing them, because I was afraid to like reject them, and so I was still pleasing these guys. Well, yeah, so one part of the journey was to say no, and it was not easy. With one of them, the second one, the one who was into parties and stuff like that, the one I didn't know where I had him. And he was like, he had resistance against like, especially spirituality and healing, and it's a big part of me, and we just couldn't connect at the same level, because I was not going out at nightlife, no, like, yeah, drinking, fuck that, man. So, and also like there was this like, where did I have him? And then I started to confront him, and I didn't get the answer, right? I can still be friends with someone who's not spiritual. Yeah, I can, I can. But if I don't know where I have him, I can't, I can't. So this guy, I had to tell him many times, like, I just can't hang out with you anymore, And the other one, the first one, which I've known for the longest time, that one I kind of like just faded away with, so he kind of knows. So that's two ways. I did two ways. I basically said no. The one way is just like I just faded away. I was like, okay, it's just easy. You don't need to say no all the time, right? You can just kind of fade away, and then you can kind of get the message, right? And the other one, I said to him like, no, like we cannot hang out, we're just too different. There was a third one too, there was a third guy too, which kind of like a guy that I studied with, right? But he was not that much into like substances, and yeah, when it came to drinking, he kept it moderate. He was a good guy, like super generous, but that guy, he was just like very career focused, corporate, like a corporate type of guy, right? Like very logic. Again, like nothing wrong with being logic, right? But we kind of just grew apart from each other, I was like, at the end I was like, I just, also, it's also important, like what kind of people is it that you sort of surround yourself with, like it's much better to surround yourself with people who just believe in you, right? is much, much better, who believes in you, who supports you, and you're on the same journey together, right? It's much, much better. Like people who understand your journey, it's much better to be around those kind of people. People that inspires you. So that's why I chose my friends that I have now, like now I have a beautiful set of friends, they're so much into the healing journey, they're so much into therapy, they're so much into business and creating value for other people, they're so much into health, they take health to the next level. And they're so generous and they're so healthy. For example, I have another friend who's just like the best, man. Like, wow, he's so generous, so nice, smiling, dancing, inspiring. One of the best when it comes to connection, right? So I learn from him each and every day, and I help him on the contrary to, when it comes to like mindset, discipline, especially around like addiction, right? Like addiction therapy and stuff like that, because I've been addicted to a lot of things, right? So it's like this beautiful compound of helping, because I have some other friends that are more educated than me when it comes to philosophy and psychology, spirituality, theology, Christianity. But when it comes to like business and discipline and having this strong iron mindset, and even some part of therapy, I can help them. They are like, whoa, you actually help me. Like embrace the dark. Embrace that there's bad, the darkness, like embrace that too. It's okay, like that's the way. Accept it and let go. Don't fight it, right? And it's like we cried with each other, we in front of each other, and so many times, I cannot even count. We connected very deep. Obviously, when you cry again, in front of each other, you open up, you're safe. You're so safe. You're so vulnerable. We camped together. We done a lot of things. We went to retreats together. I even started a business with one of them together too. But again, like at the end of the day, this is not a lucky strike. Like many people can do it. Even you can do it. The one who's watching the video, who's struggling, who has no friends, you can even do it. It's just about, at the end, it's not just it can be, for me, it's been a long journey, like just shedding away trauma, having faith, having faith in God, having faith in myself, putting yourself out there, and asking, the question that you ask, like, okay, how is this friendship? Is it like, how do I feel in this friendship? Do I grow from it? Is it like, do I feel valued? Are there this emotional openness? Can we open up to each other? Can we be alive? Can we be inspired? Is it a friend who listens? All those kind of things, right? Is it a friend who supports? Because one of my newest friends, he had, like in the beginning, I was like, let me try to help him, because he was in a pit, and then I tried to help him, and then he started to change more and more and more and more and more. And then one day, again, like he also wanted to watch, like I had him over, and then he was like, yeah, well, I just want to watch horror movies. I was like, come on, bro, like, I really don't want to do that, man. Like, let's go, let's talk, let's connect. I want to get to know you, man. You're one of my, I don't know you that much, like you're one of my newer friends, let me get to know you, man. And then he was like resisting, and I was like, I just talked to God, I had faith in God, and God was like, don't push it, I was like, okay, I don't want to push it. I don't want to push anyone. It's free will, If someone don't want to talk deep or having these profound, stimulating conversations, all right, I don't bother, right? I was like, hey, do you know what? I don't know if you said I'm sorry, but if you really want to go home and watch something, let's do that. I don't mind. But I just thought, like, since you're here, let's connect, man. Let's have a deeper talk, man. It could be fun. It could be fun to know you on a different plan, And then he was like, okay, Jin, man, let's do it. And then we went, and then that night kind of just changed. It's probably gonna change his whole life, because he opened up so much, and he was very vulnerable, and he was like, okay, he wanna take this journey, like because I could see on this guy who was struggling and everything, I called him out on it as well, But again, while we sat up there, I didn't want to talk about therapy, I didn't want to offer him anything, like, you can do this, you can do that, you can do. and so forth, right? I just want to listen, and then I talk to God like, okay, just let him open up, and then he mentioned, that he really want to work on himself, and like, okay, brother, amazing, you brought it up. That is the way, right? So now he's just like automatically one of my good friends. Also because, not only because of that, but because it's a key trait, like I have a high benchmark of people. Again, like really be careful about what kind of people, what type of people is it that you're rolling around with, right? If you're with negative people and people who just trauma dump on each other, who's not growing, who's not evolving, who's not supporting who you are, because this guy, he really supported me as well, like he was like, I really believe in you, Jen, you're doing something great for the world, amazing. I see that, right? Those are the type of people that you want to have around you, right? We support each other. I'm like, I support you too, brother. Come on, man, you can do it. I see it. So that is like the inner work, like the more inner work you do, the more trauma you shed away, the more free you get, the more the light within you just starts shining, and the more beautiful, amazing people you attract. And you can be okay with not attracting anyone, you're not even attached to attracting anyone. You can just be yourself. You have God, you have faith, you have everything, right? You have this one, you are already everything. You already have friends, right? You already have all the friends you need. You already have your tribe. So when you operate from that state of being, it is much, much easier to attract people into your life. So that is it, so that is the celebration of all this. So the final line is basically like, you find your tribe only by becoming more honest with yourself, and then having the courage to meet people from that place. I just read it up, right? So if you feel lonely, right? If you feel disconnected and you feel like, wow, this is a lonely battle and I'm constantly depressed, I'm fighting this by myself, I'm the only one doing this, I don't know how to like get around this, I don't know how to meet people, I don't know what kind of communities and everything, I don't know how to start this, I'm stuck. Then join us, join us in school. The link is in the description, and even in my bio, just check it out, there's a small fee, and it's symbolic, it's a symbolic fee, There you meet like-minded people. You will meet like-minded people, you're never alone. And once a week, we even have a catch-up, like a weekly call, where we just share and talk about everything, especially when it comes to inner work and what is it that we're dealing with, right? And it will be fun, I'll be glad to have you on board. So check it out, subscribe if you want, if you like this kind of content, subscribe if you have learned anything, if this have inspired you one way or the other. Okay, all right, peace.